Happy Friday, beautiful souls, and welcome to Spiritually Her. This is your safe space to explore the magic of inner work, grow your confidence, and embrace your self worth as the ultimate superpower. I'm Terrika-Surrenity, your host and guide on this transformative journey. Here, we're breaking barriers, we're rewriting our stories, and stepping fully into that girl energy together. So grab your favorite drink, let's settle in, and let's vibe. Your next level starts right now. Happy Spiritually Her Friday, guys. Okay, like I'm saying it's like it's a celebration, but it is, okay? Like yesterday was Christmas for those who celebrate Christmas, or just in general being in the holiday season. All right, for those that are just now tuning in to the podcast and joining the community of Spiritually Her, this is the place where we are spiritually her per usual. Okay, where we manifest the things, where we do the things, where we are living our most authentic, aligned, and most beautiful lives that we could ever possibly imagine for ourselves. Okay, and yes, I'm your host, Terrika-Surrenity, and I am the host that always does the most because why shall we settle for anything less, right? Clock that. Okay. Now, the topic for today, whew, I don't know if it is just me or if other people are also feeling this energy of it almost feels like a lot of old energy. Speaking of old energy. But yeah, it almost feels like a lot of old stagnant energy that is starting to come about, right? And it could be people from your past that are showing up because it's the holiday season, you know? Sometimes it's the holidays and people start reminiscing. They have like this nostalgia of the last time they felt togetherness, happiness, and celebratory feelings and vibes or whatever. And sometimes they want to reenact those things or go back to those environments that last gave them that feel, right? But the difference is, as of right now, in the state that I am in, and I feel like a lot of you guys are in too, is that when you're in a state of wholeness, simply individualized wholeness, that when you start to see that energy of the old stagnancy or just the past, okay, like a fucking ghost, when you start to see that energy come back or try to find its way back, it's almost like a trigger or it's almost like a feeling of like enough is enough. Like I'm getting pissed. And here we value all emotions, okay? I am not sitting here telling you guys that, yeah, we have to be perfectly at peace to be spiritually her. No, spiritually her is honoring all of the emotions because we have them for a reason and they all serve a purpose and they all are meant to alchemize whatever the situation is. So, with that being said, let's talk about it. So, the title, okay, of this episode is going to be The Version of Me You Miss No Longer Exists, baby. It doesn't. I don't know what it is about the holidays or just the end of the year period that makes people start missing versions of you that they didn't even appreciate when they had access to you. You have the people that start reaching back, the old conversations, they start to resurface and come out of nowhere. And even the old expectations creep in, old dynamics, they literally try to knock on the door. And today, we are simply saying, and I'm going to say this real clearly, lovingly, and unapologetically, motherfucker, the version of me you miss no longer exists, period. And I'm not saying this because I'm cold or because I'm bitter, but It's because I grew. And when you grow, there's a lot of discernment that comes with that. Even if it's not old faces, sometimes it can be the energy that is familiar. Maybe it's not the old person, but maybe a new person came into your life, but that energy feels so familiar. That toxic, that something, whatever energy that you have dealt with, that it gives you a trigger and takes you back to a place where you have outgrown. It can even feel like that. Because honestly, this past week I've had all of those energies. But this is why we're talking about this. Because I also have been receiving messages from the collective, from the community. And so we're just going to all talk about it. Now, so when we're thinking about the holidays, okay, I know that for a lot of people with the holidays, there is a way of romanticizing the past. Loneliness sometimes goes up. You have people who want to be around family, and suddenly people want comfort, but they no longer want commitment. They just want access to what made them feel that way. But for whoever is listening, just because someone misses you does not mean that they deserve access to you. Because missing me, missing you doesn't do anything. It doesn't benefit you in any way. Missing you doesn't equal growth. It doesn't mean that that person all of a sudden has accountability. It doesn't mean that they're ready for the version of you that exists right now. Because 9 times out of 10, you are not that version of yourself. You have grown. And if they couldn't appreciate the access before, if they haven't grown either, there's no way they're going to be able to stand toe to toe with the version of you now. Now, it is a hard reality that some people don't actually miss you. Sometimes they miss how available you were. They miss certain attributes that you had, things that benefit them, right? They might forget, or honestly, they might just miss like how forgiving you were, how much emotional labor you did without being asked to, how much baggage you used to carry that wasn't even yours. They may miss the version of you that explains everything, feeling like you have to validate yourself, explain yourself. The version of you that stayed on the phone too long when honestly you know you should have hung the fuck up a while ago. The version of you that will allow people to just trauma dump on you. And listen, that version of you was necessary for your growth. So we give love to that version of you. But right now that bitch is retired, okay? She's retired. Let that bitch rest, okay? And allow the new version of yourself to show up. The one who has grown, the one who does have discernment now, the one who does create the boundaries, who has done some healing, who has clarity now. She is the one that gets to stay, okay? Now, talking about boundaries, here's a gem that I need every woman to hear because we often feel guilty for creating and setting boundaries. And that is that old version of us that is retired, that is used to people pleasing, that is used to making everyone else comfortable at her expense. You do not owe long explanations. You don't owe emotional availability to anybody. And you definitely don't owe access just because someone is familiar or just because the energy is familiar. And I don't want you to get confused and think that setting boundaries um, makes you mean or anything. I'm not saying go out there and just be a complete bitch, but I am saying that setting those boundaries, it makes you safe, it makes you sane, it makes you sovereign. Okay? Boundaries are for protection of you and anyone who values you, cares about you, says that they love you, will understand and respect your boundaries. All right. And I'm not saying this just in the aspects of, you know, hating relationships or hating men or hating women, whatever, because, you date who you date. And, you know, we might be fluid all around here, baby. But I just, and I don't want to even, I don't want you to even think that it's about cutting everyone off. I don't want you to go in just this state of like, okay, 2026, fuck everybody. I'm blocking people. I'm deleting all the contacts or anything. I'm not telling you to go out there and burn bridges or anything like that, okay? And it's not about closing your heart. This is about discernment. It is about emotional maturity. It's about choosing peace over toxic chaos. Please understand that you can be loving and still be unavailable. You can love somebody so hard and unconditionally and still say, fuck you. You got me fucked up. You can still be kind and still say no. You can be soft and still have those hardcore boundaries. So, as I speak this, guys, and as we move into a new year, I want you to ask yourself this: who is it that I am still giving access to out of habit and not alignment? And think about it as well as it doesn't always have to be a who, but what energy that isn't aligned that you're still giving access to out of habit. Because the next version of you requires you to show up with more peace. And it's something that is going on, and I've been talking about this shift that's been happening within the divine feminine, that we are okay with being with ourselves as long as that means we're not compromising our peace. We're not waiting for other people to give us experiences. We're not waiting for other people to love on us. We're not waiting. We're literally going after everything. We're giving ourselves the permission to travel, to go after the dream job, to try this restaurant, to have our own reason to dress up and look gorgeous, to book that makeup appointment, to go to the spa. It doesn't have to just be my birthday. It can be whatever day I doom it fit. And I'm sorry if that makes me high maintenance to you, because I don't need you to approve what I'm doing for myself. And I'm not going to stop what I'm doing for myself to make you comfortable. Okay? So we need to make sure we clock that too. Listen, this next version of you requires your peace, more peace, even more safety, intention, and we're not babysitting anybody emotionally anymore. These grown men and women that have emotional temper tantrums, and even if that is you that have the emotional temper tantrums that are listening to this, we're not doing that any longer. Okay? If someone cannot meet you where you are right now, they do not get to drag you backwards. Okay? And I remember, growing up, my mom had me in church all the time, and the pastor would say, this is like the only thing I kind of remembered from that he was saying. It's kind of crazy, but I'm not going to get into that side story. But he would always say, forwards, ever, backwards, never. So please understand, if a person can't meet you to where you are right now, after the growth, after the healing, after the glow up, after you have been putting so much work in yourself, after you have been loving on your body, you've gained the confidence, you speak affirmations and speak life over yourself, and now this certain energy wants you to dumb that down, dim that light, just so you can seem accessible to them. They do not have the right to drag you back down, okay? To pull you backwards. And don't you dare give them the right to. Because if they do, that is you that gave them permission to do so. And we're not doing that, because you're not going to say that Terrika-Surrenity told you that. Because, baby, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, but no, I did not. Okay? I love you. And we just not going backwards. Okay? All right, guys, we're going to get into some questions. All right, so, all right, we have, okay, so these questions are anonymous. So, all right, let's go into, and we'll only do three. All right, so we have one question. How do I stop feeling guilty for outgrowing people I still care about? Mm. How do I stop feeling guilty for outgrowing people I still care about? I had an episode about this, but I will say guilt doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong because you feel guilty. I think most times when you feel guilty about something, it's because you're doing something that is new, that is foreign to you. And just like this, it's like almost like the same feeling of when there's change, because it's new, because it's different, you feel uncertainty with it, right? But I want you to understand that outgrowing people doesn't mean that you stop loving them. It means that you stop abandoning and you stop discrediting yourself to keep them comfortable. So sometimes people tend to have like, it almost reminds me of survivor's guilt. People who may grew up with a lot of people and they have all kind of been in the same place, but it may be that one person that may excel a little bit more, even though they had maybe the same opportunities, the same resources. It was someone else who just maybe excelled a little bit. And sometimes that person excels a little bit and they look at the surroundings of the people where they once were and they maybe outgrew them, but then they start to feel bad because they're not resonating with them anymore. This is the thing. You can't feel guilty about that, okay? There's a change. We outgrow people. And sometimes we need to understand that people are in our lives for a season. And I have heard this saying as well, that sometimes the best thing you can do for other people is to live your life authentically. What the fuck type of word I was saying? But most times, all you have to do is live your life authentically and keep focusing on you and strive for yourself while still being kind and still holding boundaries and everything, so everyone can see what is possible. Sometimes the best way to help someone is just being an example. So, for those who feel this question and resonate with this question, don't feel guilty. All right? All right, so here's the next question. How do I know if someone misses me or just misses access to me? Ooh, child. Okay, I would say you have to ask yourself some questions like that person that is saying that they're missing you, are they showing any type of growth? Or is it just them reminiscing? Like, are they hitting you up talking about, oh, I remember we used to do this. I remember this time here. Like, so it seems like they're still living in the past of what you guys were or what you guys had between each other, that they're missing that. They're missing the nostalgia of it, but it's not them missing you as a person and meeting you where you are. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like someone who misses you respects your boundaries. And then someone who misses access, they resent you for your boundaries. They might say some stuff like, "Ah, man, but why we can't do that? We used to do this. Man, you tripping. Like, we used to be da 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 da, you know?" Like, it's someone who's always living in like, "Well, you used to do this for me. Why you can't do that for me now?" Like, I miss you. They miss the access and they're not understanding the growth. Versus a person who actually misses you, they're coming to you intentionally and meeting you where you are. And that looks like, hey, like, I really miss you. And you could just be like, oh, well, I understand you miss me, but I'm here. Like, if you want access to me, these are the things that I need. I need consistency. I need this. I need blah, blah, blah. I need so and so, so and so. And, you know, and I need action or whatever. I'm just giving out some basic as examples. But that person, if they truly miss you, they would show growth and honor and respect your boundaries to be able to show up for you because they genuinely do miss you. Or they do genuinely miss access to you, that they're willing to respect your boundaries just to be in connection with you again. All right. All right. So, question number 3. Is it okay to go into the new year with less people? Girl, now you didn't need to ask me that. Like, you already know what it is. Okay. um I would say that not only is it okay, but sometimes it is very necessary. It is necessary to take inventory of your year. Like the last episode, we talked about reflection. So, it is very vital to take inventory of the people, the energy, and the where you have directed your attention to, while also planning for the future and planning how you want to show up next and who is and what energy is in alignment to the goal. All right. So hey, we're talking about quality over quantity, okay? And it applies to relationships, friendships, all of that, okay? Peace is a full circle. All right? Clock it. All right, guys. Those are all the questions I'm going to do, and feel free to email, to hop in my DMs for all of your questions, and I would definitely decipher through all of the questions to resonate them to the topic and to the topics at hand. Okay? But listen, before I leave you today, all right, I need you to repeat this affirmation with me. I honor who I was, I respect who I am, and I protect who I'm becoming. All right, guys. Listen, the version of me you miss no longer exists, baby. All right? And the version that does is powerful. She is grounded and she is not available for anything less, right? Stay peaceful, stay loving, stay kind, but stay standing on business. And keep your foot on these motherfuckers' necks. Period. Okay? I love you. Stay aligned. I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Mean it. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Spiritually Her. I hope you felt inspired, empowered, and ready to take the next step on your journey. If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Let's keep the conversation going. You can connect with me on TikTok at Serenity 101. That's SURRENITY 101. And on Instagram at spiritually.her. I love to hear your thoughts, breakthroughs, or even what topics you want to dive into next. Until next time, remember, your power is already within you. Keep shining and simply stay spiritually her. Bye.